Welcome to Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio.
My name is Tyler.
And today we are talking about college football. It was a cupcake week, and we're just going to go ahead and review all of that Week 12 gloriness that we have. If you are wondering, hey, but I really want to hear about all these rivalries, wonderful. Don't you worry. That will be coming out per usual on Wednesday. We apologize for the delay of this episode. Had some personal things I was dealing with, but now we are back on the road, back on the show, Tyler. We're going to talk about rapid reactions, of course. Then we'll talk about 5 wide. We'll talk about you could say they're horrendous. You could also say they were appropriate and that God was kind of humbling us in 2-point conversion. But we'll talk about that later on. And then, of course, we'll end with our flagship segment, Moment of the Week. But first, Tyler, we always begin with our quick hits. And I just want to take you down the road. Tyler, I would like to extend a welcoming hand. I'd like to open the door. Welcome to draft season, Tyler.
It's draft season in Jacksonville, baby.
Welcome, my friend.
We are, I believe, 4-7 now. Good old wonderful record. We've been outscored, I believe, like somewhere close to 80-30 since Nick Foles came back from injury.
Wow, you from the top rope, Tyler.
In 3
you
division
just from the
games,
top rope.
all 3 division games, all 3 on the road.
How much money is this contract tied up?
Too much. I remember when it happened. I was like, yeah, I'm happy we got Nick Foles, but also, what amount of money? Like $50 million guaranteed?
That's a whole lot of money.
Why? Shad Khan just has all this money to just throw around, and yet somehow he probably not going to end up paying Yannick Ngakoue. Just saying. But yes, I have accepted that this team is not making the playoffs, which was a long shot to begin with. So I am welcoming draft season. Which means I'm really just rooting for the Rams to lose tonight because I need their first round pick to be good.
You guys have their first round pick?
Yes, from the Ramsey trade.
So, I guess on this podcast we have to start cheering for, in no particular order, the Bengals to win, the Texans to lose, the Steelers to lose, and the Rams to lose.
Correct.
On top of the Dolphins and Jags losing, because if it's draft season, then you got to start losing.
Here's the thing: this is super cynical, well, it might be it's not cynical. It might be too quick to judge. But if they put Minshew back in, I'll start rooting to win. But at this point, I'm just indifferent.
I think at this point you just play Foles out.
We've won too many games, I think, to get into the top 5.
That's what I'm. Yeah, no.
So at this point, I'm just gonna watch my team and accept that we're not going to the playoffs. Basically.
Yeah, you can't just lose a game, waltz in, and say, "All right, let me get into that back room over there." We've been back there. I started that party. All right.
Question: Is it possible to draft a coaching staff?
From college?
With our first round pick, can we draft a front office? And then with our second, can we draft a coaching staff?
So the front office draft, would you be hiring like an athletic director, or would you be taking some other organizations?
Literally anyone. I'll take a recruiting assistant. Because if you're drafting, you can probably draft better than Dave Caldwell.
Yikes! Because if you're drafting coaching staffs, like, you mean to tell me that like with the first overall pick, I wouldn't take Dabo Swinney and his entire staff?
We're getting Lincoln Riley out here in these streets.
Okay, understandable. I get that. You just really want to score a lot of points. I get that. Oh no, it would be perfect.
Sergio, I want to be good. No. I want to be sustainably good. I don't want to be flash in the pan good, where it was just the 2000, I believe it was, the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars. Sorry, no, 2017. Yes, 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars were a case study in collecting so many high-level first-round picks to where you literally had to stop sucking.
Which is the goal with the Dolphins.
Yes, but then that just turns around and then you start sucking all over again.
Yeah, something in the water, man. These Florida teams.
They aren't even meant for Bucks.
No, who are probably going to give Jameis an extension. Because did you know that he's having statistically one of the best...
you remove the 20 interceptions?
19 interceptions. Put some respect on his name, please.
I will do no such.
Anyway, I just wanted to let you know, welcome to the draft, to the tanking neighborhood. We welcome you with open arms. If you want, there's cheese plates in the back. I know you just had some dinner, but there's cheese in the back, wine on the top cupboard. Have fun. treat yourself. I just want to say right here, right now, I would like to personally thank Dwayne Haskins for delivering a victory and allowing us to officially move in front of the Washington football team to secure essentially a top 3 pick. Thank you so much, Dwayne Haskins. I appreciate it. I would like to be your next fan you take a selfie with. If you could ever be so kind, I would love to go ahead and be that fan the next time you get around to that. Just want to let that know.
I still can't get over the fact that he couldn't take the kneel down because he was busy taking a selfie with a fan. I know that probably infuriates everybody who's above the age of 35 in that building.
It's okay. To me, it's okay. There were only like 77 fans there, so you're pretty good. Don't worry about it.
Amazing.
All right, and before we go ahead and talk about college football, let's go ahead and do our fantasy football update. Tyler, I was actually in the semifinals in our college fantasy football league. I ended up losing to Raul. I had underwhelming performances by both my wide receivers. Isaiah Hodgkins, Ty Marshall Jr. gave me underwhelming performances. But I think what really did me under was the fact that Raul had Jalen Hurts and Sam Ehlinger and J.K. Dobbins and Chuba Hubbard, who actually didn't score a touchdown, but still had 36 points. I want to let that sink in. He had 36 fantasy points, and he did not score a touchdown for the first time this season.
Wow.
Yes, exactly. Oh, my gosh. Tyler, how was the toilet bowl matchup between you and poor Bucks fan Tyler Renfro?
I lost.
Well, you are fully embracing. You are fully embracing.
What is there to say? My team sucks. What do you want me to say?
Nothing.
We missed the playoffs.
Sorry.
We're 4-8. Now we're 4-9. A record that should be impossible in football, but apparently not.
Tyler, it's been 7.
What do you want me to say?
It's been 7 minutes on this pod, and you are already reached your max aggressiveness levels. Oh boy. All right. So yeah, that's it. There's gonna be no more fantasy football updates for us in terms of college. It looks like we are just going to go ahead and move forward. Next week, we'll kind of talk about the championship matchup that is going on between my stepfather, Raul, and friend of the pod, Michael Phillips. Looks like it's going to be a good game. Championship matchup.
I'm just happy that Michael beat my coworker, Greer's Cocaine. Mm-hmm. Because he's been rubbing it in my face how good he is all season, and I'm glad that he won't be winning the championship.
Can you do me one favor?
Yes.
Can you tell your dad to set his lineup, and can you set your lineup? Because you two are the 7th place consolation game, and I would like to see how that actually goes. Because it's you and your dad to see who ends up in last place. I just think it's only right. I just think it's right.
Are you playing a game this week? Are you playing a bowl game?
I am in the 3rd place matchup against your coworker, Greer's Cocaine.
You better win.
I'm going to actually put some effort. I need you to win. I got you, Tyler. I got you. No worries.
Okay.
All right, let's move forward. Tyler, I promise you this next thing is going to make you happy. We're going to go into rapid reactions. You know the drill. 1 minute per game max. And then we're going to talk about all of the games, all the big news from college football, with the exception of what happened in our 5-wide 2 points, which we will get to more in-depth. But Tyler, let's go ahead and put the timer.
I got it right here.
1 minute up. Tyler, are you ready?
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Boys!
Miami, what is you doing?
You lost to FIU at Marlins Park, the former location of the Orange Bowl. You had no business losing this football game, Miami.
And this is not even a good FIU team this year.
This FIU team
get bowl eligible on your ass.
This FIU team lost to FAU by 30.
And I'm gonna say this in Spanish just so everybody in Miami can hear it. LOL.
Woo!
You hate to see it.
Let's have a serious conversation.
Okay, you got 20 seconds.
Miami Diaz, does he get 2 or 3 years? Because he's coming back next year.
It really just depends on what happens next year. They have to get better in 2 years. Because they also beat Louisville and Florida State by a combined 80 points. So what is this team?
It's the most Miami thing I've ever seen. It's like the goods are really good in relative to their conference and stuff, but the lows are really bad.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Anyway, woof, that was a good laughter. Another thing, Oregon getting upset in Tempe, losing to Arizona State on prime time.
For everyone to see.
Kirk and Fowler were calling the game.
How dare they? How dare they do this to the Pac-12 conference?
How did they do this to me? I had all of my eggs in this Oregon basket.
Can we also talk about how Justin Herbert was the second best quarterback on the field?
I mean, you said it, not me.
I am upset at Justin Herbert about this game.
Can I tell
legitimately upset at him?
Can I tell you? I listen to a Locked On Dolphins podcast, and I read their reviews every single weekend of draft prospects. It's a great blog, lockedondolphins.com. If there are any other suffering Dolphins fans out there.
Seconds, man.
Cool, awesome. Every week, the guy who runs it, whose name is escaping me, he ranks his quarterback prospects. This week, he was like, Justin Herbert officially is the least favorite of my prospects. He put him behind Jake Fromm. He put him behind, I think it's Bryce, Love out from Nevada. He put him behind.
Okay, I would take him over Jordan Love, but
that's what I'm saying. He was like, I am done with this guy.
Justin Herbert just does not. This is going to sound so stupid, but he just does not have it.
So last thing, and we'll move on. His direct quote to start off his analysis was, Justin Herbert will get an NFL coach fired one day.
Yeah.
It's very accurate.
He's got all the tools in the world, but
Exactly.
When we say he's Ryan Tannehill 2.0, we really, really mean that. For all the good and bad that it's worth.
Soft spot, Tyler? Soft spot?
Shut up.
I just want to see my boys prosper. I just want to see them flourish. Let's move on.
Not in Miami, though.
Let's move. No, he just didn't work out in Miami.
After 7 years.
It's like a relationship where, like, you do good and it just didn't work out with you, but you want to see them succeed. That's how I feel with Tannehill. Go ahead.
Against my team.
Go ahead.
Okay, whatever.
Go ahead, King. Go ahead. Utah surviving their trip into Arizona. They take care of business. And
they got lucky and they played the actually terrible of the Arizona teams.
Oh, yeah. They played a Kevin Sumlin team. So,
yeah,
you get what you get there.
But they dominated.
They did. They dominated. Offense played good. Defense played good. I'm excited to see what the rankings look like tomorrow, and we'll talk about them when they come out tomorrow. But yeah, Utah surviving their trip. There's not really much to say there. We have to kind of wait to see where the playoff committee ranks them heading into rivalry week.
So. But they're now the Pac-12's only hope.
Help me, Utah Utes. You're my only hope.
All right. Moving
on. Georgia beats A&M 19-13 in a snooze fest.
This game is terrible.
Georgia's terrible.
Can we say that?
We can say that. We can say that. Listen, I'm convinced that if this Gator team came out and scored on that first touchdown drive the way it looked like we were going to, if we didn't shoot ourselves in both feet, one hand, and the chest, I think we would have won the football game.
I'm not disagreeing with you. We only lost by a touchdown.
Yeah.
But Georgia has got to be one of the ugliest good teams I've ever seen.
Georgia plays football the way like you play your little cousin in NCAA 14, and they use the 2-button mode.
If Georgia brings LSU down to this level, I'm going to be so pissed. This is not the product I want to watch.
I don't think it's possible.
I think it's possible.
I have takes on the championship game next week. And we'll save them for the next week's pod, but it does not look pretty for Georgia. I'm just
all right.
Next game up, Oklahoma escapes TCU, a 5-5, now 5-6 TCU. Oklahoma's been in some close games these past 4 weeks, and it is not helping their playoff chances.
I'm telling you, they really are just not trying to make the playoff.
They're not. It's in their hands. And here's my thing, not to pivot towards Alabama, but Alabama is watching this Oklahoma team, and they're like the Jack Nicholson GIF, where he's like, yes, that's what they are right now. Because, in my opinion, Alabama does not deserve to be in the playoff. I think if Utah beats Oregon, I think they should be in the playoff. I also think Oklahoma may deserve to be in the playoff, but they're really making it hard for me to make.
See, the problem is that this is the same thing the last time Alabama didn't make it to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It's like, everybody's like, well, they probably won't make the playoff, but then everyone around the country is not making it look like they're not the fourth best team in the country.
They're basically putting it on a platter for Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but it is what it is. All right, let's move out west to some Group of 5 action. Boise and Hawaii our Rainbow Warriors, America's nightcap, have both clinched Mountain West championship spots. Are you
Give it
ready?
up for the Rainbow Warriors, baby.
Well done. I saw this game the first time it was played in Boise, Idaho. Is this game going to be played in Hawaii or in Boise?
No, it's in Boise because Boise has the home field advantage.
So I have to watch that atrocious blue field?
Yes. And you have to because this is our game. We have to watch this.
We have to. It's our team.
It's our team.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, yeah, Hawaii is unable to catch up to Boise's record, so Hawaii will not be hosting. It would be really cool if they hosted the Mountain West Championship game in the islands.
I feel like
I would go to that championship game.
I feel like it'd be like Moana, like the power of the islands would just like help their favor. You know what I mean? Tahiti would just come
Something
through.
like that.
The Rock would sing the national anthem or something. I don't know. It'd be fun. It'd be a cool thing. All right, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna ISO you out, Tyler. I'm gonna head to the corner and take it away.
Pump fake Purdy outlast Les Miles, Kansas.
These text messages.
My boy beats your boy. Suck it.
Okay, first of all, offensive to my Kansas Jayhawks. Please have some.
Well, they lost, so they can suck it.
It's our first year. Please have some respect. Have some patience. Second of all,
I'm sorry. Like no one is able to outlast the Purdy pump fake. I'm sorry. I should do something.
Listen, Brachiosaurus Rex is an untamed animal.
Apex predator.
He is. My favorite part about this game was the fact that I didn't see a single second of it because I was working this weekend. But I loved the text messages that I got from you that I checked in the booth during the show, and I had to text back and be like, "What's happening?"
I legitimately thought that Kansas was going to win this game.
From the GameCast, it looked like they were close.
They did, and then Matt Campbell trusting his guy on 4th and goal with a minute left. They're already up 3, so they don't need to. They could hold it off if they just take a field goal. But he's like, "No, we're gonna do it right here." And Purdy rolls out. He does the little shimmy shake, he pump fakes, and he throws the guy open for a touchdown.
Incredible.
By the way, and during that whole time, like afterwards. I love watching Brock Purdy when he throws touchdowns or anything because he just loses it. You ever see him?
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, and then he's just like beating his chest, and then he goes and like jumps up and hits like a coach. It's great.
I can't wait for Brock Purdy to have a phenomenal bowl game, and then all throughout the offseason, people will be like, "Hey, this Brock Purdy kid. Hey, look at this Brock Purdy kid." Wow, Tyler and I are over here like we have several nicknames.
You've been here.
We have several nicknames for him.
Y'all late to the Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
But not fashionably so.
Not even. Last thing, and we'll move on. Les Miles with talent at Kansas is going to be a problem. The amount of close games that they've lost this year, it's going to be. I don't think they're going to get to the level of like Oklahoma, Baylor this year, Iowa State. None of that. No. Like they're not going to become an elite team in the conference, title contenders.
But they can get middling.
But they will be an agent of chaos. If Kansas is the pit of the Big 12, mission accomplished.
I agree. It's it's going to be a matter of can they find a quarterback because Carter Stanley currently is a senior.
Yep.
And on top of that, can he keep the staff together? Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on.
All right, let's go ahead and move forward. A question we seem to ask every single week. Did Clay Helton save his job?
Because they won like 20 points against UCLA, and USC finished with an 8-4 record. And if Utah loses in the last week of the season, USC is going to the Pac-12 championship game.
So basically, USC is just hoping. Don't they play Notre Dame this weekend?
No, they already played Notre Dame. They ended a week early.
That's weird.
I know.
So they're basically just hoping that Utah slips up. Who does Utah play this week?
Colorado.
Oh, that's a tough ask.
Utah's not going to lose this division.
No, they're not.
Which, by the way, USC being right behind them is probably the best thing that could have happened to Utah because Utah has to win, has to play well every single game because they can't give up that lead.
Right.
So that's been good for them.
Right.
But I don't think Clay Helton saved his job, honestly.
It's kind of like he's been a lame duck coach this year, and it sucks because he went 8-4 and he's really I think he's maxed out his potential. I just don't think that potential is enough at USC, at a program like USC.
I mean, they've got a good offense, they've got good talent, but it's not enough.
No, that's
yeah.
not. unfortunately, because I do think he's a good coach. He would do great at like an American school, an American level school. He would do really well there. I think so. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Tennessee, welcome to bowl eligibility, my friends.
Yay.
We didn't think you could do it, but you ended up doing it.
You're back. You took 2 years off, and now you're back. Mm-hmm. Sorry, my Lamar Jackson just scored a touchdown, so my phone is letting me know.
Howard.
Guess who? Do you know who he threw it to?
Who?
Hollywood Brown.
Was it Hollywood?
Damn. Yes. Sergio's smiling over here. Back to Tennessee.
I love it.
Congrats to Tennessee and Jeremy Pruitt. They've improved a lot over the back half of the season. Granted, they're doing it against bad teams. They still lost to Georgia State.
Can I stop you?
Yes.
Is this not what Butch Jones did every single year he was there?
Yes.
Lose to Florida, lose to Bama, look really bad, turn it around against middle of the pack to lower level SEC teams and a couple non-conferences, get to bowl eligibility. I guarantee you that was loud. I guarantee you they get to a bowl game, they win the game, and then we get the whole offseason of like, well, maybe Jeremy Pruitt's turning it around.
Yeah, only for them to look terrible at the start of next season.
Yep. So, we know how these things go.
I can't wait, personally.
And we wrap up with the best thing to happen this weekend. Can we give it up for the Charlotte 49ers?
Let's go. First time they're ever bowl eligible.
I just want to let you know, this program started 5 years ago, and they are bowl eligible. Not only are they bowl eligible, they also have climbed to the top of best locker room atmospheres. Because the video of them celebrating, I'm not sure
if it was... Will Healy, shirtless, with the 49ers mascot on his head.
Is this a scene from Animal House? I'm concerned. Like,
legit, no. There was like disco lights and everything in there. It's like, are you sure this isn't just a party?
This isn't like an off-campus house, is it? Like this is still
the
locker room.
Reminded me of? This is a very niche joke for only a few people. It reminded me of the Pillow Man head at our friend Andrew Quibby's house. How every time there was a theater party at college, somebody would put that on, and the whole place it would just be stupid.
Oh. R.I.P. the bus stop. Hands down, the best party house I've ever had.
Ever.
Hands down. So many just a phenomenal stretch of parties sophomore and junior year. Phenomenal. Mwah. Anyway, Charlotte wins it. And I'd like to go ahead and...
Go ahead.
Ha ha. Hee ha. Marshall blew the Conference USA East title. Let's go Owls. With this L, Marshall relinquishes first place in the Conference USA East, handing it over to FAU. FAU has to beat Southern Miss this weekend, and if they win, they not only go to the Conference USA title game, they get to host the Conference USA title game. Never sleep on the Lane train. Thank you, Charlotte. Roll and I were joking. We were like, the FAU AD should like send the Charlotte AD like a gift or something. Thanking them. I was like, if I was on your PR department, I would do it. Like,
set up a fruit, just anything, like a fruit basket or something.
Something.
Oh, or just literally a thank you.
Oh, they should buy them bowling shoes and send it. It would be cute. I wasn't kidding. I was being serious. Like, because it's the first time they're going bowling. It's a thank you for giving us the front track in the Conference USA East. No, nobody. All right.
I absolutely love that.
Oh my god. Anyway, that was Rapid Reactions. Kind of a dull weekend. This episode is probably going to end a little early, but we had to go ahead and talk about those few things. Tyler, let's jump right into our 5 wide and 2 points. Let's start with the game of the day. Unfortunately, it was a noon kickoff. I ended up going back and forth after spin class. I ended up going back. I was eating lunch. I went back and forth between game day and the big noon kickoff. And it was funny because in the background of big noon kickoff, I saw the tent for game day. And in the background of game day, I saw the tent for big noon kickoff. And I really wanted an Anchorman-esque type battle of the news anchors to happen.
That would have been perfect.
At least they should have gotten together to take a picture and pretend. Like that would have been incredible.
Oh, yeah, but Disney won't allow that.
Not at all. But the story here is Penn State, previously ranked 8th in the country, we don't have the rankings up yet, goes into Columbus, Ohio to play the number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And the Buckeyes take care of business 28-17 in a hard-fought game, in probably the closest game, not probably, in the closest game that Ohio State has played this year.
Definitely.
Tyler, again, I had to work most of this weekend. I didn't watch as much. I saw the highlights. As someone who watched this game, what did it look like? Why did Ohio State end up winning this football game?
Well, they struggled. They struggled because they got a case of the fumbleitis. But that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. They fumbled like 3 straight drives in their own territory to give Penn State opportunities to score. Now, what helped them is Penn State quarterback Sean Clifford got out in this game. He was injured.
Okay.
So their backup was in the whole time.
Yeah, and did he get hurt early?
Relatively early. I believe it was in the first half.
Okay.
But they had not scored. They didn't score till the third quarter. Mm-hmm. Penn State goes down 21-0 in the first half. So
yeah.
But then they come out. They get a little lucky. They compete. But Ohio State, I was impressed with Ohio State being finally put in a situation this season where they struggled. Mm-hmm. And they were able to come out on top. They're just a very well-coached football team. They're obviously very talented, and Chase Young is a monster, and Penn State could get almost nothing going, especially when you have your backup quarterback in. So
and taking hits by arguably the best defensive player to come out of college in the past 5 years.
Yeah. So I mean, Penn State, to me, also handled themselves really well in that it's like, this is a good team. Mm-hmm. And with their backup quarterback, they kept it relatively close, a lot closer than a lot of people thought that they would. Mm-hmm. And then there was kind of a belief that they could play in this game. And Penn State's played this game very well the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. So Ohio State, like, good on Penn State, but Ohio State, I'm actually impressed that they were able to win in a close game. Mm-hmm. So
nice.
I mean, it's really just they're really well coached. Justin Fields has to stop taking so many hits.
So I've heard. I got a text message from my group chat saying that Fields was out with an injury, but then came back in. And I want to know, was it serious? Was it serious? Was it?
It was just like a big hit.
Okay.
I think he either just got the wind knocked out of him, or he's just hurt. Football's a violent game. He's a young player. He has had injury history in high school.
Exactly. That's where I was going to get to.
Nothing crazy, but he has had injuries. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not too worried, but it's like against the lower level teams, he can get away with running so much because several times he's run straight past guys.
Right.
Or he can get out of bounds. This is one of the few teams that he's faced that can really, and Wisconsin did the same thing to him where you could really feel that they were tackling him.
Right.
And it was affecting him kind of.
Uh-huh.
It didn't really affect him much in passing, and he was still very efficient. But you could tell that it was affecting him running. So,
well, and I think that goes to show. I saw like an extended highlights clip, so I saw a lot of. It was actually mostly Penn State on offense, Ohio State on defense, because they were showcasing Chase Young and they were showcasing that kind of stunt compatibility. But going back to that, what Ohio State faces, that you think about Wisconsin and Penn State are pretty much the best defenses that they've seen so far this year. So especially in the front seven, so it makes sense that those kind of things happen. And that's the question on Justin Fields going. I know we're thinking too far ahead, but I don't know about you, but I have 2 first-round picks next year. I
also have 2 first-round picks next year.
And the Rams are going to be bad next year. That's a hot take that I have, but it's really not that hot. It's kind of a lukewarm tape I have. We'll talk about that later. But going into the future, that's one of the questions on him that people want to see him grow from this season to next season. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, you're not playing the best of competition, but when you do play those teams, how do you end up with your decision making, and not necessarily in where to throw the ball, but when do you move up in the pocket? When do you step out of the pocket? When do you throw it away? Want to see those kind of next level decisions that we see the great quarterbacks make. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, this is his first season starting in college football, exactly. So like there's a lot to grow.
Yeah. And now that we know he played in that god awful Georgia system last year, so now he's in an offense like
okay Georgia system because it was Jim Chaney.
Yeah.
Now it's just, eesh.
I know. Anyway, we're not even talking about Georgia. We're trying to have some fun today. Let's move forward. It's the most boring offense I've seen in a decade. Let's move forward.
Are you? Well, actually, I'll agree with that because even the bad Florida offenses were exciting in a completely terrible way.
Well, no. Here's the thing: the Treon Harris offense at Florida, they tried to do things. They just couldn't.
They just terrible at all.
Georgia doesn't even try to do things. They pretend like you're playing football in 1972.
You know that this was Jake Fromm's third straight game of under 50% completion percentage?
He had 47% completion.
And under 200 yards passing.
I was going to say he had 157 yards. Every Monday I read through my Dolphins scouting report, and I get angry every single time that Jake Fromm is on there, and I'm like, can you remove this guy from the quarterback prospects? Because if we draft Jake Fromm, I am personally driving down to South Florida. But forget it. I'm going to force Gump my way down to South Florida, and I'm going to just swing at the first personnel person I find. That poor custodian, that poor PR intern, because I'm just going to go swinging.
I know somebody who works for the Dolphins, and I will tell them to not be there.
Yeah, let them know. Let's just move forward before I get even angrier. Michigan went into still potentially 9-win Indiana with a bowl game, asterisk.
It's still possible.
Still possible. We want to see it. They ended up just pulling away in the second half. When my show ended, I went out to eat with my parents and my aunt, who came to see the matinee, which we'll get to in official moment of the week. I promise you, it's a funny one. Where we went out and I looked, and the TV at the bar was this game, and so I kind of saw like the last 8 minutes of the second quarter, and it went into halftime. What was it, 21-17? And I was like, oh, okay. Or I'm sorry, 21-14. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay, let's go, Indiana, let's go. Mm-hmm. And the second half started, and it wasn't pretty.
No, Michigan is looking good.
Yeah, we talked about their offense.
This is a good Indiana team that they just beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about their offense in the past, and I mean. Listen, Shea Patterson's looking like the Shea Patterson. I distinctly remember watching the Under Armour All-American game the year that he came out of high school, which was my freshman year of college. I distinctly remember being home for the holiday and watching that game and going, oh my gosh, I would love it if Florida had this quarterback. And I haven't thought that for a while because I've seen his production at Ole Miss, which was good for the beginning, but didn't really kind of plateaued. Then at Michigan, we know what he's been the past couple of years. But now, this past game, when I went back and rewatched some of the more in-depth highlights, I was like, okay, if this was the Shea Patterson that we would have ended up with, I would have been really happy if he was a Gator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, It's really weird. I mean, I don't mistake this in. I think that Michigan is going to win next weekend. I don't.
Okay.
At this moment, but like, it's weird that it almost seems like this Ohio State team is a better team than most of the Ohio State teams that we've seen the last couple of years, which have all been great teams. But it's almost like Michigan looks just more competent and better this year than they have in a lot of their years.
Okay.
At least on offense. So I would not be surprised if the Michigan-Ohio State game next week is close.
Okay.
I would also not be surprised if Ohio State blew them out because they just do that. So
I'm gonna lean on the latter, but I'm gonna respect your little wishes over there.
It's not so much wishes. It's just that like Michigan, like it's not just like us saying that they could beat them. I feel like Michigan at least feels like they've got something going on. I want to clarify. I really don't think that Michigan is going to beat Ohio State.
I think
I just think that it's going to be closer than everybody wants to believe it's going to be.
You've been drinking too much of the rivalry week Kool-Aid. I think you need to put it down. Tomorrow, level.
How dare I insist that a rivalry game is close?
Have you seen this Ohio State? You've seen this Ohio State team, right?
Yes, I've seen these.
You understand that Jim Harbaugh has never beaten Ohio State? You understand that?
No, and I just said I don't think that's gonna change.
I just think you're overthinking it, my friend. What I'm hearing is that you think Michigan's gonna blow them out, and I'm gonna stop you there. Let's move forward.
Wrong. Fake news.
No, fake news. Wrong.
As a Michigan man.
China. Let's go forward. Horns down. Texas went up against Baylor. Baylor took care of business 24-10. Tyler, Texas is 6-5. Round of applause. Nope, you're not joining me? There we go. Thank you very much.
Same record as the other UT, Tennessee.
Horns down, baby. Horns.
Can we please have Tennessee and Texas play each other in a bowl game?
No, listen.
Please, dear God.
Wired, listen. Tired, you want Texas and Tennessee. Wired, UT Chattanooga and Vandy. Yeah, baby. You already know.
You do know that Vanderbilt is like a 2-win football
We're
team.
going to make an exception. All right, Texas beats Baylor. I didn't see a single second of the game. All I know is that they end up winning that game, and I'm very happy about it. There's not much to talk about the Big 12 up until
Baylor dominated this game.
Baylor dominated. We talked about the Oklahoma moment. We can just move on. We're basically waiting for the conference championship game. That's all we're missing.
So, yep, that's really all there has to say. Tom Herman, I'm not advocating that he get fired at all. I think that's premature.
I think it's premature. It's just, I think us.
It ain't all rose petals like it was last year.
Exactly, and us level heads will kind of understand that. I just don't know if the oil barons of Austin, Texas will agree. So
I highly doubt he'd get fired this year at all.
I doubt it as well, but he's definitely going to start the season on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah.
So next game up, we have Pitt going into Blacksburg to play Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, breaking the curse, ends up beating Pitt 28-0, does not allow Pitt to Pitt, much to my dismay, because I picked Pittsburgh and you picked Virginia Tech.
You know what you didn't realize?
What?
The reason that Virginia Tech was going to win this game?
What?
This was Bud Foster, their legendary future Hall of Fame assistant, defensive coordinator. It was his last game in Blacksburg. Because this is his last season. Their last game was on the road. This was his last home game. And you thought they weren't going to shut Pitt out? A fool.
In my defense.
I bite my thumb at you, sir.
In my defense, this is the kind of thing that Pitt loves to ruin.
It's not wrong.
In my defense, I was wrong. I made the wrong decision. I accept that. I have to bounce back.
The logic
next
was
week.
sound.
I just want to let you know this was the thought process. I do not think I should be shamed for having that thought process. It was an appropriate thought process.
Okay, all right. Well, you were wrong. That's all I care about.
You know what thought process was wrong? Both of us picking against the triple option. SMU loses to Navy 35-28. We were both wrong on that one. We thought SMU. We were given the blueprint for how to beat Navy from Notre Dame, and we thought that SMU, a team that literally thrives on that same blueprint that was provided for us, was going to execute, and we were wrong. Navy ends up winning by a touchdown. Triple option, man.
SMU was executing that exact game plan that we were talking about that Notre Dame used in the first half, and they executed it very well. Triple option is just hard to defend, man.
Mm-hmm. It wears down on you.
Yeah, because it's just impossible to get the opponent off the field.
And you're always having to think about it. That's the thing.
Yeah. And now it's Navy and Memphis tied at the top of the division for in the American. So Memphis has to win next week.
Memphis has to win against Cincinnati. We'll talk about that. So yeah, that wraps up our 5 wide. Tyler gets 5 points from 5 wide this week. Sergio gets 4. I'm sorry, no, I apologize.
I get 4 points.
I know. I'm looking at the ones we picked. Sorry, I'm looking at the ones we picked, and I saw the 5 T's, and I was like, oh my god. Sorry, the way that we structure it on our Google Doc, listeners, I apologize.
It's confusing.
Yeah, Tyler gets 4 points. I get 3 points. And unfortunately, neither one of us ends up getting our 2-point conversion attempts. Let me start with mine so that I can give you the floor. I end up picking Illinois over Iowa, and Iowa stabs me in the heart, rather. Pulls in Arya Stark and just kind of, gives it that little treatment. That's all I'll say on that. I was wrong. I was wrong to believe in Black Santa. I was wrong to believe in the greatest beard of all time. Tyler, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you. What happened in your 2-point game, Tyler? Please do me the honors of explaining this to me.
So Washington State triumphed over Oregon State, 54-53. I would love to sit here and tell you, the listeners, and you, my podcast co-host, that this game was wild. Oh, I was so entertained. Oh, I can't because it was on the Pac-12 network, so would have loved to watch it.
I saw highlights, though.
I saw the highlights, but I couldn't watch it live. So this game is the epitome of a teenage mood swing. It starts off with no offense at all, and then suddenly, at about 12 minutes left in the third quarter, there's 6 straight touchdown drives by both teams. both of these offenses were very good. Anthony Gordon and Jake Luton, the quarterbacks, were both very good. It was very entertaining to watch the highlights of this. But Oregon State, okay, Washington State comes out to a big lead. Then Oregon State somehow climbs back and takes the lead and then adds another touchdown to go up 11 points. And you're like, oh, they've got this in the bag with like 3 minutes left. No, sir. What you do not understand is that Mike Leach is on the other sideline.
You mean the legend, Mike Leach?
The man, the myth, the Sasquatch hunting legend, Mike Leach.
You mean the man that planted fake play sheets during a Red River rivalry?
We don't talk enough about that moment. I know that moment gets mentioned every single college football season.
And it should.
I still don't think we talk enough about it.
I want my son to recite it to me one day. That's how important it is.
But Anthony Gordon takes the Washington State offense, marches down the field once, scores a touchdown, marches down the field again. And with 2 seconds left on the clock, Mike Leach sells his soul to the devil and runs it in for a touchdown.
That was the most shocking part because I purposely didn't read anything about this game. I knew I had to go in. When I saw the score, I was like, yes, all right, wonderful. Tyler didn't get the 2 point. And I went back and I watched the highlights. And when he runs the football in, I thought it's like at the end of a movie where what you didn't expect to happen, or you thought something was going to happen and it's something completely different. But the thing that's completely different is technically justified. But you're just mad because everything that you did to get there is just like completely different. That's how I felt. I felt think
like you're describing the final season of Game of Thrones.
I think I am. Yeah,
because
think I am.
And we are. I don't want to get on a Game of Thrones tangent real quick. You and I are not complete haters of the last season.
Correct. I like
everything that happens. I'm like, yeah, all of this kind of does make sense, and I understand how we got here. Mm-hmm. It's still not very satisfying.
Exactly. I just think it moved too fast. Anyway, we're not going to talk about Game of Thrones on this podcast.
Who's Mike Leach in Game of Thrones?
Mike Leach in Game of Thrones. Okay, first one.
He's too chaotic to be Tyrion, in my opinion.
Me too. The first one that came to my head was the Viper, because he will live and die by what he does.
Okay.
But then again, here's this little twist. He ran the football in.
Yeah. I think. But he's that guy. He's that one guy in Bravos that talks in the third person.
Okay, could be that. I also think he could be the wolf. What's his name? The eldest Stark son, Red Wedding guy.
Robb Stark.
Robb. He could be Robb. He could be a leader that people go around, and then he makes his mistake, and that's his downfall.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one here is that he's Arya Stark because he talks weird, and the whole tenet of his offense is go where they are not.
And he has a cult.
That too.
Yeah. He
lives in a weird place, and it's weird. All right, we should move on.
We got to go back. The point was, Mike Leach ends up doing the unimaginable and runs the football in to prevent Tyler from taking an arguably insurmountable lead. If that happens, Tyler would then have been up 3 points rather than the 1 point that he's currently up, which is Tyler 54, Sergio 53. So it's still a 1 point game.
We got 2 more weeks of this.
2 more weeks of this. Tyler, I would like to go ahead and ask you a question.
Go shoot.
Okay. Would you be interested?
Oh boy.
And I'm doing this on the air for a reason. Would you be interested, to put you on the spot, in calling an audible with our 5 wide and going from 5 wide into the Wildcat? The Wildcat would expand the 5 wide to 7 games for this week. Why? Because it's rivalry week.
Sign me up, baby.
So 7 games plus our 2 point.
That's an extra 2 games for me to whoop your ass.
Okay, that's not how it will work, but sure. If that's what it takes for you to agree to the Wildcat switch, I'm fine with it. I just feel like for
we got
rivalry,
a Wildcat with an extra offensive lineman that's eligible.
Exactly. Yes. He's checked in. Big man touchdown. Big man touchdown coming.
Big man touchdown all day.
All right. Okay, perfect. So next episode, you will go ahead and see us preview week 13, which is rivalry week. We will have our Wildcat formation, 7 games to pick from, on top of our 2-point conversion. A chance for me to go ahead and have some additional games to pick. And also just because there's so many good games. Like we're gonna
There's a lot of really good, interesting games.
For example, I want to talk about the Egg Bowl. It's for me a bigger Thanksgiving Day tradition than the NFL. Just because we're college football fans more than we are NFL fans. And we have the Apple Cup on Friday, and we have obviously Florida State, which will not be in Wildcat because we'll talk about that on its own. But we have the game, Ohio State, Michigan,
Iron Bowl.
We have the Iron Bowl. We have tons of other games that are
Virginia Tech is a Coastal Division championship.
Exactly, which is just the chaos is beautiful. Anyway, so we got a lot of things to talk about next week. If any of you guys are interested...
You left off Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Oh my God, the Paul Bunyan game.
Where game day is going.
The Paul Bunyan game. Oh my God. Please tell me that's the night game.
I have no clue.
It should be the night game.
I don't know if they've announced it.
If that's the case, I'm going to record it and watch it Sunday because I have to watch Florida State, but I hope it's the night game.
I'll be at Florida State, so...
Oh, I forgot. Now I'm sad.
Back in the Eastern Time Zone, baby.
Now I'm sad. No, I'm not sad. I'm happy for you, but I am slightly jealous. I will not lie.
Yeah.
I will be up here in the cold, and you will be in
Still
the
cold. Not that cold.
Please enjoy the senior night.
I'm probably going to get there early, so...
Knowing you. Of course you will. Knowing you. Come on, man. Real fans over here. If anyone is interested in go ahead and just having us talk about literally anything that you want, you can definitely drop a bag to sidelinejudgment@gmail.com. I do check this email a few times a week, and it's looking pretty dry over there. We definitely would like for people to go ahead and drop some bags, or if you just want to say hi, just one little company. I might email you back. Tyler might email you back. Who knows? Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Drop a bag. sidelinejudgment@gmail.com. All right,
Tyler. We don't
discriminate
against bag size here.
Oh, we never do. Tyler, let's wrap this up with our official moment of the week, flagship segment. I would like to defer and have you go first this week because I have a pretty good theater story in regards to my show.
I can't wait. Mm-hmm. I've got 2. I've got a mini one and then an actual one.
Give it to me.
I'm actually going to do the actual one first. So it was senior night at Washington State because their next game, I believe, is on the road.
Right. And
instead of them all going out, all of the seniors coming out with their flags and with their flowers individually, they came out and greeted the Helinski family, whose Tyler Helinski, who was a Washington State quarterback, would have been a senior this year but he unfortunately committed suicide 2 years ago. It's a big story. His younger brother, Ryan Helinski, has inspired a tradition at South Carolina about honoring it, and they have started a foundation called Helinski's Hope, which trying to raise awareness for suicide, raise suicide prevention, and the entire senior class went out together and went out to the Helinski family and gave them a hug and kind of had a moment of togetherness where they were kind of honoring as if Tyler was there with them. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool for me.
That's very sweet.
That's very sweet. Mini moment of the week. The Georgia Tech NC State game was, I believe, on Friday night.
Friday night, yes.
Yes. And actually, no, it was on Thursday night. I remember because I tweeted about it.
It wasn't Friday?
It was a Thursday night game because I tweeted.
My days were blurred.
Y'all were watching a boring NFL game while I was watching Georgia Tech put up the passing touchdowns on NC State.
Yeah.
That is, besides the point, it's in that game. The moment of the week in that game is that the broadcasters, including Adam Amin,
Pat McAfee, the GOAT, I love him,
and Molly McGrath, and his name is escaping me right now. Hasselback. All 4 of them, you know what they're wearing in the booth?
What?
Waffle House hats.
No, they are not.
Yes.
How is it Monday of the next week? I'm Googling this right now. Are you kidding me? ESPN.
I'm pretty sure, unless I'm totally wrong about this.
Waffle.
They may have. Yeah.
I'm Googling it right now. Are you kidding me?
Your reaction is amazing.
I can't find it. Hold on. I need to.
This is great podcasting.
This is breaking news. ESPN Thursday Night Football crew Waffle House.
I'm trying to find it. It was with you. Let me see if I can get the full broadcast. We're going through the full broadcast. This is excellent podcasting.
This is phenomenal podcasting.
But
I promise you we prepare for this podcast. I promise you.
No, we really do. It's just I put this on him.
And we personally withhold our tweets we've shared and our moments of the week and stuff because we want these live reactions of this. You got to find it for me because I can't find it.
I'm pulling up the broadcast. Let me see.
If that's the case, you need to text me the link right now and I'll pull it up.
One moment.
We're doing this on air.
Oh, yeah, we're doing this live.
We're doing this right now.
Stay with us, listeners. I'm trying to find it.
In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and set up.
Yeah, go ahead and tell your story.
So this past weekend, we opened. I am a drama teacher at a K through 12. I apologize, pre-K through 12 school, and I'm in charge of grades 1 through 12. I am the drama club coordinator, advisor, or whatever, teacher, and they have entrusted me when I came in. They said they want to grow the drama program. So I said, cool. Well, right now you do 1 show a year. Let's do 2 shows a year. Let's do a play in the fall, a musical in the spring. They said, great, wonderful, awesome. We'll get to it. So this past weekend was the fall play. And so we did Little Women in anticipation for the new Greta Gerwig adaptation that's coming out Christmas Day. And I just wanted, I thought it was a great piece of Americana and a great piece to, be able to showcase to everyone. So we do Little Women, great, wonderful. Friday, we have a phenomenal show, Tyler. I think we only had like 5 or 6 seats that were available. It was very happy. It's a house that seats... Yeah, and it's a house that seats about 130. So, granted, that's not a very big house in this grand scheme of theaters, but for this school, it is. This is a very academic school, not much extracurricular stuff or whatever. And we were able to put in a whole bunch of people in the seats, and I was very happy. Thanks to all the staff members, a bunch of the teachers. I gave every teacher a free ticket, and all the teachers on Friday were like, "Hey, we're gonna go out to a bar, have some drinks, and then go see the show." So they show up, and they're just already like a little buzzed, and I was like, this is perfect, because they were laughing more, and it was wonderful. It's why comedy clubs have a 2-drink minimum. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Friday night show, great. Saturday, we had a matinee. We only did 2 shows, Friday night, Saturday matinee. We're going through the matinee. It's fine. It's another big house, which is wonderful. And my set had 2 couches and a chair, like set up. That was the main part of the set. There were other things as well. All of a sudden, I'm following along the script because I'm calling the cues. I'm following along the script, and I just hear boom. And I look up, and I think it's my actor who slips and falls on his back. Turns out it wasn't. So I was like, oh, thank God he's okay. I look at it. One of the couches just like fell on its back. And I was like, oh my God, the couch. And I'm thinking, surely these 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th graders are going to pick up the couch when it falls, right? Tyler, this couch lays on its back for a solid 3 minutes. And when that happens in the theater, it feels like it's an hour. And I'm in the booth with Raul next to me running sound, Annika, the senior girl who's running the lights, and they're both trying to calm me down. And all I can say is, pick up the couch. Pick up the couch. Just pick up the couch. Pick up the couch. Why is no one picking up the couch? There's a couch right there on the floor. Pick up the couch. And so there's a character who played like a maid. She comes in. First of all, her entrance was delayed because naturally when the couch fell, it kind of threw things in a little spiral. Everyone was distracted, and they like kind of messed up their lines. One of the kids literally blatantly is on stage, looks at the couch, comes on stage, looks at the couch is falling, and he starts to laugh. This is not a funny scene, and he just starts to laugh, which then makes the entire audience laugh. Then the entire audience is laughing. The kid cuts his line short and just gets off stage. And then the maid was supposed to come in earlier. There's like a 5-second delay on her entrance, and I'm like, did she miss her entrance too? What's going on? She comes on, she says, what is this couch doing here? And picks up the couch. And I was like, whew, okay, great, wonderful. Fast forward it was like 10 minutes before intermission. We get to intermission. I run backstage and I go around. And when I open the door to the backstage, they're all like talking to each other, like, wait, what did you supposed? Like they're trying to figure out what happened. And all I do is go in and I say, just pick up the couch. I felt like Kramer when he was frustrated in Seinfeld, any episode of Seinfeld. Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, just pick up the couch. Oh my God.
I definitely understand it as a person who's had shows that I've written, produced, where you're sitting there and you're just like, you talk to lowly while you're watching as if they can hear you.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
It's like mentally, you intellectually know that they can't hear you.
I'm 20 yards away. They can't hear
emotionally, me. You're like, no, like you should know that I'm telling you through like my spirit.
Yeah, it's one of those
pick
like,
up the couch.
Did you get me? And they're like, what? I'm like, never mind.
How dare these middle schoolers and high schoolers not understand the improv and just like pick it up?
That's on me. Hey, that's on me. We'll get that fixed. All right. This is all also to say that 10 minutes beforehand, one of my characters wears a wig for about 25 minutes. The wig was literally falling off, and she's holding it as if she has like a headache, and she's holding her head. So just a whole lot of things happened on Saturday. Still ended up being a good show. Second act ran smooth, so oof. But like I was like, God was like, oh you thought Friday was good? Bet. Okay, bet. Something's gonna happen. And I was like, oh, it is what it is. So that was my moment of the week. Other than that, phenomenal run. Actually a pretty good story. Everyone loved it. Good idea. We announced the musical for next year for the spring.
What is it?
We're doing the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Nice.
I'm very excited. Very excited.
I love that musical.
It's gonna be
at least it's not Spring Awakening.
No, can't do that with middle and high schoolers.
I don't know. I mean, like,
no, Tyler, we're gonna shut it down. We're gonna shut that.
Imagine one of your students finds this podcast. Don't like, Mr. De La Sprea. Why are we doing Spring Awakening? Your friend says it's a really good show about like a pivotal point in middle schooler's life.
My friend is also an idiot.
I'm not gonna sit here and debate that with you.
I love him to death, but he's an idiot, and we're not gonna do that show because Mr. D likes his paycheck. Cats? Mr. D likes his paycheck. What were you saying?
Can I petition your school to do cats?
Can I petition someone else to co-host this pod with me? Is this what we're doing now? Is this what's happening? Is cats going to somehow be brought up through the end of the year, every episode?
Maybe.
I hate that. Oh my
I'll find a way. I'll find a way that it'll make sense. All right.
Oh my gosh. All right, Tyler. Did you find the Waffle House thing?
I have been combing through this YouTube video of a 2.5-hour broadcast.
Oh my god.
And I cannot find it.
All right. Well, if you do find it, we will let the listeners know where they can see it.
Despite that, Waffle House is awesome and remains supreme, and Georgia Tech is going to be a problem next year.
Yep. Waffle House, the official, unofficial sponsor of Sideline Judgment.
Absolutely.
100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sideline Judgment. Next week. I'm so used to us doing just one a week. Next episode, we will be previewing Rivalry Week. Do not forget that we will be having a special Wildcat edition of 5 Wide. 7 games, not 5, in addition to our 2-point conversion. A great way to go ahead and finish off the college football regular season. Tyler, anything else you want to talk about?
No. I'm up on you by 1 point, and I look forward to expanding my lead.
Well, that's a lie. With all of that,
I do look forward to it. I have no clue if it'll happen, but I look forward to it.
It won't happen. It won't. With all of that being said, this has been yet another episode of Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio.
My name is Tyler.
And do not forget, it is FSU Hate Week.
Yes, sir.